For many small organizations, the modern digital workspace is an overgrown mess. Files are scattered haphazardly across personal OneDrive folders, buried deep in SharePoint, and lost in endless chains of email attachments. Because this growth happens organically over years, the environment lacks any consistent structural hierarchy. Nobody knows exactly who owns which critical document. The everyday consequence is pure operational friction. Staff end up wasting significant time simply hunting down the basic files they need to do their jobs. This daily friction is the visible sign of a governance failure, one that leaves the entire operation continuously exposed. This scattered environment hides a specific, quiet threat: permission drift. Over time, as links are shared and folders are duplicated, access controls degrade. Highly sensitive files slowly become visible to staff members who have absolutely no clearance to see them. And when an auditor knocks, asking for compliance logs or access trackers, producing accurate governance evidence from that tangled web is nearly impossible. Without a tightly controlled central structure, an organization cannot truthfully claim its most sensitive data is secure. Fixing this mess requires a hard transition, moving away from a scattered landscape and architecting a deliberate defensive barrier. The core philosophy is the principle of least privilege. Looking at this web of wide-open access, you see how dangerous default sharing becomes. The mechanism is subtraction. Staff are granted access strictly to the exact files they need for their roles, and nothing more. Getting to that point requires a ground-up review and a complete reconfiguration of the organization's current permission structure. We replace the previous state of open vulnerability with a tightly restricted access model, where the default is always locked. Actively applying the principle of least privilege turns Microsoft 365 from an open liability into an active defensive shield. For small teams, this principle becomes a daily workspace, structured through a dedicated secure operations hub. The first component is configuring SharePoint, building highly structured document libraries governed by consistent naming conventions. Then we deploy Microsoft Lists, creating centralized daily operational trackers. Those separate tools are then bound together using Teams and Power Automate to create seamless, safe workflows that move data securely from one step to the next. Critically, this hub includes a dedicated, locked-down area built specifically to gather and store cyber readiness and governance evidence. Synthesizing Microsoft 365 tools this way empowers small organizations to manage their daily work faster, safer, and with complete structural consistency. But security isn't a one-time fix. The new hub is intentionally built to be easily maintainable over time. By thoroughly documenting this new architectural structure, strict permissions can be updated safely whenever the organization scales up or a staff turnover. Add in periodic reviews and active oversight, and you prevent that quiet threat of permission drift from creeping back in. A governed Microsoft 365 structure provides the consistency needed for a small team to protect its data while staying focused on its actual work. Adjona technology helps small charities, care providers, and growing businesses make Microsoft 365 safer, clearer, and easier to govern. Visit adjona.com to start a practical conversation.